dead, he didn't let that stop him. He didn't let his feelings stop him. He still loved his son and gave him money. A third of his estate. It'd be different if he just threw $1 at you and said, start with this, he ain't going someplace. No, he gave him a third of the estate because he loved him. The father literally poured his life into building his estate so that he may have something to hand down to his son. The father is the one that went to work every day. The father is the one that was sweating in the coal mine and all that stuff. And he gives it to this big head boy who's talking about, give me. That's how much the father loved him, and he gave it to him without hesitation or reservation. The father gave his son the result and the sum total of his life and work. Watch this. The younger son wanted what the father could give him. He just didn't want the father. I want everything you got, Daddy. I want your heat. I want your lights. I want your gas. I want your eggs. I want your old coats, your old trench coats. I want your clothes. I want your rings. I want all that. I just don't want you. That's exactly what he was saying. I want everything that the benefits, because remember now, I'm saying give me my inheritance. Well, it's your money. But the boy didn't know that if he had the father, he had more than a third of the inheritance. He had everything because he was with the father. But we get carried away on the third and $5. You know, give me my $50. Now your father's a millionaire and you asking for $5. As long as you're in the house, you're a millionaire too. But when you leave and talking about give me what I got coming, I mean, first of all, you ain't got nothing coming to you because it's my money that I put up in there. You ain't even went to work. It's my money that's in the retirement. He wanted what the father could give him. He just did not want the father. We looked at the request of the son. Now let's look at the readiness of the father's love. Let's talk about the father. Let's look at the father's reception. Verse 20 and 21. Watch this, Sheena. Look at the father's. Now, the daddy been told that, you know, I wish you was dead, Tommy. Dead. Not sick. Not had diabetes, but dead. So watch this. And he arose and came to his father. But watch this down there. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Now, wait a minute. Watch this. Here you had a father who had been longing, looking, and living for his son's return. The father was filled with love, compassion, and grace. Now, watch this. If the boy went to a far country, and he arose and came to his father, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him. So his father had to be out looking for him. Why are you looking for him, Daddy? He told you he wished he was dead. Looking for him for? His father saw him a great way off. Ran, fell on his neck, had compassion on him, kissed him. Now watch this. Again, remember the boy said, this is what I'm going to say to Daddy when I get there. He rehearsed that little lie. And his daddy wouldn't even let him finish. Because his daddy know the more we talk, the more we lie. And you making all them promises. See, Daddy, when I get back home, I swear for God, I'm going to do this. His father said, son, just stop. Because again, his father wanted him to know, I'm not receiving you back based on your performance. I'm receiving you back based on the paternity. I'm your father. In other words, the father said, I don't care that you was on crack. Man, I love you. I don't care that you was in the penitentiary. Man, I love you. I don't care that you this or you that. I love you. And nothing you can do can earn that. I already loved you when you came in the world. You didn't have to do anything. When you was a baby, couldn't even hold your head up. I loved you. So it's not based on what you would become. My love for you is based on who you are. So watch this. The father loved his son back into a right relationship. He didn't want to hear no speech because he knew the son wasn't going to keep what he said. He loved him back into a right relationship. How do you know, Shirley? Two things. First of all, the text said the father ran. Now, you see this and you read this, and this is why you need to come to Bible study. You go, okay, well, okay, fine, that's cool. No, you need to know the time and the custom. It was considered undignified for a man to run back then. Wasn't nobody running back then? Not no man. They didn't run. No, they didn't run. And, of course, they wasn't in war. But, no, they didn't run. So the father running right there triggered something like, well, wait a minute, this ain't normal. And the father is running to the son. The son the one that messed up. But the father's running to the son. Adam and Eve messed up. God is going after them. They running from him. But God always runs to meet the sinner, to quickly extend mercy and grace, and to put away the danger. I'm the one messed up, Sister Diane, and God is running to me to get me right. And I keep running from him with my dumb self. He's running after me, Darnell. I'm the one that sinned, not him. What God does, God literally interposes himself between us and his wrath. Because remember, when God shot his wrath out of his bow, once it left the bow, it had to hit something. And since it could not stop, Jesus came and said, I'll get in front of it and take it. So Jesus got in front of the wrath, and the wrath hit him and not us. He died for us. He jumped in front of the Father's wrath and took it for us. Because once it shot it, it was going to hit something. So he said, I tell you what, Darnell, I can't stop it from landing, but I can stop it from hitting. And he took the wrath, and he died for us. Okay? Watch this. 1 John 2, 1 and 2. Watch what this says. Watch this. John says, my little children, these things write I unto you, that you sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate. We got some social workers in here. Y'all know about advocate. See, any social workers? What do advocates do, Sister Diane?
Let me see. You work in the best interest of another individual, or you advocate for them. I'm going to advocate for you. I'm going to help you along. Right.
So an advocate is someone who speaks on behalf of the client or the person, and you're speaking only to help them and to better them. So Jesus Christ is our advocate because he know that if we talk, we'd mess up. That's why people have attorneys. But let me help you. If you're ever thinking about getting one, don't look for Rudy Giuliani, because he have sleep, Jim. He even bringing up stuff like, oh yeah, he paid for some more woman. Could you say that again, Rudy? Oh, yeah, and Rudy don't know. He paid for some more woman there. Thank you. He don't even know what he gave him. Y'all know him, he's half cocked. So the advocate is someone who represents and works on behalf of another person. So we don't even have to talk because God knows that we would mess up. So Jesus is the advocate. He talks to God for us so we won't perjure ourselves on the seat of mercy. Y'all don't say, just sit there and just sit there. Yeah, it's like the parent, okay? We tell our kids, okay, you got a problem with the principal, you got a problem with the teacher, somebody did you wrong, you did the right thing by calling me. Okay, now once I get to the school, son, sit down, shut up, don't say nothing. Let me take it from here. That's what Jesus said. He's too nice, he don't tell us to shut up. But he said, I'll take it from here. So every question God asks, he answers. Because he's the advocate. And you know, when you don't understand stuff, you just look at your attorney like they be doing all that old lingo, and you be like, that's why I got him. I don't know all that language and all that stuff. That's why you have an attorney. Okay? So that's what Jesus is. He's our advocate. Okay? So the Father ran to him. The second thing he did, Geraldine, the verb said he kissed. Kissed is in the present tense. That's not just one kiss, but continual kissing. You know when you get a new baby, you like be kissing their feet and hands, you be smelling, because they got that new baby smell, and they nothing like new baby smell. Nothing. Every baby smell good. Even if they don't look good, they smell. I shouldn't have said that because everybody baby look good. Don't it, Shalou? It should to you. You know what I mean? Every baby look good to somebody. I mean, it do to the parents, you know. And you see one that you ain't particularly like, you be like, oh, that's a baby. Because, you know, because we say anything cute. Oh, he's so cute. Well, come on now. Oh, look at him. Got 2 hands, 2 feet. Oh, precious thing. Now, Sean, when they say that, Sean, do we know what's up, Sean? Like, uh-huh. Because y'all talking about how cute he looked, and you just said his daddy was ugly. And then you said he looked like his daddy. You got me, Geraldine? So if he looked like his daddy and his daddy ugly, but ain't no ugly babies. Shouldn't be, at least to 2 people. The mother and the father. Yeah. Some of them grow out of it. They grew out of it like, oh, God bless you for being 17. Because let me show you your baby picture. I'm just saying, Jimmy, I'm kidding. I'm just saying. But you know you do. You kiss them all over. You be kissing their feet, putting them in your mouth and all that stuff. And then they get like 2, you're backing up, don't want to change them or touch. That same kid you was kissing their feet, now you don't even want to change them. Like, it's a nasty thing. He only 2. And the nasty stuff coming out of him is the nasty stuff you put in him. You know? And that's all it is that Gerber food. But now there's one thing about black people. Now your baby head can't even hold up all the way like this. And we didn't give him a turkey leg. Like now that ain't table food. I mean, he can't eat and he hold head like this. Head on one side, turkey leg on the other one, mashed potatoes and green. It's a baby, Donnell. He go to get a 9-month checkup, he got diabetes. Like, ma'am, how your son got diabetes? Now, y'all know black folk mistreat them baby. Sure, am I lying, Shirley? Won't we give somebody a chicken leg? It ain't gonna hurt him. Yes, it is. He gonna have diabetes before he gonna be on a diet at 1. So he kissed him. But the point is continual kissing, which is the ultimate sign of acceptance by the father. And remember now the condition of the boy. Remember now, the boy, Rosie, just left the hog pen. You know what's in the hog pen? Slop and some other stuff. All kind of stuff. He's stinking like a pig. He's a Hebrew, which is a detestable being around a pig. Sharon, he's in the hog pen. He stank, and his daddy kissing him all over. Now, most of us would have said, okay, when the boy came to hug, like, stop right there, dude. Go on, shower first. You know, put on the right guard and left guard. You got 2 of them. So put some under there and up under there. Okay? Put some little toilet water on, spray some cologne on. I'll come back and hug you. The father hugged him with the mess on him. You know what God does to me and you? He hugs us and kisses us with the stuff on us. I got a needle in my arm. I done whoremongered. I got 50,000 kids all over town. I got 10 kids by 20 women, and all of us, and God hugs me. I figure y'all try to do the math. How you got, okay. Yeah. But what God does is he kisses us and embraces us with the junk on you. And we got nerve, those who have been forgiven by God, to turn up our nose when somebody come up in church with liquor on their breath. What they doing in here? Oh, you must have forgot that you was in the hog pen and God hugged you. Throw up all over you, urine all over you. Oh, you forgot about all that, didn't you? And God forgave us, and now we're going to look at him. He got weed smell on him. How you know? Well, everybody know what weed smell like. So we got to be careful before we start condemning people to death. God kisses us back into the family. The law demanded death, but grace extended the kiss of reconciliation. And because of God's great love, Odessa, there was a feast instead of a funeral. God, you know he stank. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you stink too. You in the house and you dressed up and stink. You ain't been in a hog pen and stink. At least he got a reason. Yeah.
I was just reminded, it used to be a spot in Battle Creek where everybody just showed up and get their drunk on. It was called the Hog Waller. The Hog Waller. Yep.
Is that the back 40? Is that?
No, this was before the.
So it's back 40. The Hog Waller.
Champion Street down here.
Okay, championed by the school, right? It was called the hog wallah, and you would show up and get your drunk on. You had one too? It was called the hog pen? Hog wallah. Yep. Watch this. Psalm 85, 1 through 10. Watch this. Lord, thou hast been favorable unto thy land. Thou hast brought back the captivity of Jacob. Go ahead, Dr. Matthews.
Thou hast forgiven the iniquity of thy people. Thou hast covered all their sins.
Okay, now everybody in here, you don't need to run, jump, get on your seat, but you need to look at that verse. You look at verse 2. You need to sit there. You need to read that. And then you need to thank God that God has covered you. Because it's some stuff you done that you embarrassed. It's some stuff you done you hope you could forget. He has covered you. All. Yeah, all. Yeah, he has covered you. Everybody in here embarrassed about some stuff they did. He's covered it all. You get goosebumps. Yeah, because number one, you wonder why you ain't dead. Number two, you wonder why you don't have AIDS. And all them other STDs and everything else. So, yeah, you just sit there and like, whoo, God, you've been good to me. And all that stuff is covered.
Thou hast taken away all thy wrath. Thou hast turned thyself from the fierceness of thine anger.
Oh, I'm so glad he ain't mad no more, Jim. Woo!
Turn us, O God of our salvation, and cause thine anger toward us to cease. Wilt thou be angry with us forever? Wilt thou draw out thine anger to all generations?
Mm-hmm.
Wilt thou not revive us again, that thy people may rejoice in thee? Show us thy mercy, O Lord, and grant us thy salvation. I will hear what God the Lord will speak, for he will speak peace unto his people and to his saints, but let them not turn again to folly. Surely his salvation is nigh them that fear him.
Now watch this, 10. Kim, watch number 10, verse 10.
That glory may dwell in our land. Mercy and truth are met together.
Mercy and truth have met together. Watch this last part. You're going to love this.
Righteousness and peace have kissed each other.
Righteousness and peace, Jim, have kissed each other. That's what God does to us. So we look at the Father's reception. Now let's look at the Father's restoration. Watch this, verse 22. Sheena, watch the Father's restoration. But the Father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe, put it on him, put a ring on his hand. Remember, put a ring on it? That's where Beyonce got that from the scripture. She should have gave God credit. Put a ring on it and put shoes on his feet. It's right there. Now, let's break down the robe. The robe symbolized the son's purity. And Jimmy, you're going, wait a minute, purity, the boy just left a hog pen, and according to his brother, who had the receipts from the strip club in his pocket, that they was at Gentleman's Club, watching cinnamon and cayenne hot pepper, whatever them dancing names is. So how is he pure? He just left a hog pen, cussed me out, told me he wished I was dead, and spent all his money, and they say, on them scriptlers. The robe represents purity. Dr. Matthews, watch this. Here stands the son in the rags of his sin. He's standing there. He's standing there, Jimmy. He got the needle in his arm. Okay? Again, urinated all over himself. Everything. And at this moment, he does not look like the Father. And the Father changes all that. Sharon, he don't look like the Father. So the robe would do two things. First of all, the robe would make him look like the Father, because in this condition, you don't look like me. So let me change that. You need to look like me. Not where you came from. You need to look like me. So the robes would, Sharon, make him look like him. And secondly, I love this, the robe would cover up the dirt and the grime from the hog pen. So now when everybody sees you, they don't see the needle in your arm because you got a robe on and you look like your father. They don't see all the sin you done. They don't see the murder charge you got. They don't see the baby out of wedlock. They don't see none of that because you got a robe on and you look like your father. So he said, let me cover you up. And the first thing we do in church is try to uncover you so everybody can see what you used to do. Look at him. Look at her. No, they got a robe on now. So the father said, you need to look like me, so I need to put this on you. And secondly, it covers you up. God covers up all the stains and that the folk can't see him. He covers up all the cracks. He covers up all the imperfection because the robe will go from here all the way down. So now you can't see none of my bad spots because I ain't got none because I got my daddy's robe on. So now when I'm standing next to my daddy, we look alike. What am I saying? Now when I'm standing next to Jesus, we look alike. In fact, we look so much alike, Jimmy, you have to ask which one is Jesus and which one is Jimmy. Because you got the same robe on and you look like your daddy. So now they don't even know which one is Darnell. That's how much he looks like Jesus. So he said, put a robe on him. Makes him look like me, and it covers him. And who God has covered, don't you in your little righteous indignation try to uncover. Yeah, but child, say I used to know them. No, ain't nobody interested in that. God didn't clean that person up. Now I see, but you know they used to be in the back 40. So what? They got a robe on. See, the robe represents purity. Okay? Secondly, he said, put a ring on them. The ring represents privilege. After the robe came the ring. The ring was a symbol of sonship and authority. See, the one with the ring could speak for his father. So the boy just left the hog pen. His daddy said, put a ring on him. And right away, he could speak for his father because he had the father's ring on. God didn't say, like some of us, okay, son, now before you come back in the house, you need to cut the grass, do the dishes, clean up the hogs. I mean, you know, we'd give you a list of stuff. We'd put you on probation. We'd give you a list of stuff to do. Now, to prove your sincerity, you're going to have to, like, wash the top of the chimney. I can't do that if I didn't go to the hog pen. You know what I'm saying? So, the one with the ring, watch this, had access to all that belonged to the father. Now, a second ago, he was in the hog pen talking about, man, even my daddy's servants got steak to eat, man. And I'm out here dreaming about Vienna sausages. When you got the ring on, you got access to everything the father has. Everything. Whatever daddy got, you got. The Bible said we are joint heirs with Christ. So what Christ has, we have. God would not sell this world until he checked with me because I'm an heir. He would check with me down there because my name on the lease, on the deed. I'm a joint heir with Christ. So what he owned, I own. What I own, Josh and Jada own. They can act up in school, do all this. They own whatever I own. Now, acting up can obviously get your stuff taken away. Because, you know, I know your account number 2. I'm the one put it in. I can take it out. So all you got to do is live to be 18 and you can have this. But now if you act a fool, it'll just come back to me and your mama. All this is yours. All you got to do is turn 18 and don't be stupid. That's all you got to do. 2 things. Turn 18 and don't be dumb. Because I ain't finna give you this to go put on, you know, toasters on cars and stuff. I ain't working to do that down there. Rims and, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm driving, Sean, I can't see him turning that way. So who they for? I can't look out the window. Privileges, okay? Then the ring meant privileges. Then he said, Petri, put shoes on his feet. Now, if he ain't got on no shoes, what was he stepping on, Shirley, in the hog pen? His toes full of you know what? All in between them. Stank, stunk, and stink. The father said, no, put shoes on him. You say, well, why is that big? Because only the slaves went barefoot. Sons wore shoes. He was telling the son, you ain't no servant. The son come back to him, make me a hired servant. His father said, you must be crazy. You ain't no servant. I don't care what you did. You ain't no servant. I don't care how many years you served. You ain't no servant. I don't care what you did out there. You ain't no servant. You my son. In his little way, he was going to act up about it. Give him a week. He'd been back to the strip club. He just wanted to get back in. Miss Meal Cramps had a way of running you back home. You know, everybody grown, so they got to pay something. You know what I mean? Everybody grown to it's time to say, like, okay, you start, because you know what you should do to your kids when your bills come, you should like say, okay, I'm going to take the ones in my name and you take the ones in your name. Just like give them a mental thing. And they find out they ain't got nothing in their name. You know what I mean? So in other words, everything I say, go here, because I'm paying for everything. Now, when you want to pay for something, then you grown enough, then you go pay for, you can have your own house. Then you can make your own decisions. You know. So position. The father alone determines the position and worth of the son. The son desired to be a servant. The father said, no way. You ain't no servant. You my son. When we mess up, God doesn't say he's going to reduce us to servants and slaves. He said, no, you my son and you my daughter. Yeah, you messed up, but that don't take away the fact you my son. They don't take away from the fact you my daughter. You messed up, you're going to get yourself back right. But you don't drop notches because you messed up. You still my son. You still my daughter. And the son and the daughter is the one who gets the inheritance. I told you about Watchman Nee before. Watchman Nee was talking to this guy. And, you know, they got dogs that actually go to obedience school. You know, we should send some people to obedience school. I think that'll help us. Okay, it is. It's called like Sunday school, like Bible study. They just don't know they're going to obedience school. But the guy was saying, you see this dog? He said, this dog does everything I tell him. If I tell him to sit up, he sit up. If I tell him to sit down, he sit down. He said he never poops in the house. He never disrespects me, never talks back, never bites me, never does anything. Said this dog's obedience to me is perfect. He said, you see my son over there? Said he poop all over the floor. He don't listen to me. He don't do nothing. He mess up the house. He do all that. He said, but who do you think my inheritance is? Do you think I'm giving it to the dog or to my son? He giving it to the son. Even though the dog is more obedient than the son, the dog ain't a son. Okay? And black people, because I watch the news, Jim, and we've seen people, we've seen people like on the news give like, they leave $1 million to cats. We know they white, because black people don't even like cats. We ain't giving $1 million to our kids, so we sure ain't giving them to no animal. So we know what color they are. They do. They give $1 million to cats. And Charlie, did I tell you this man had a dog, and this lady had a dog, and the dog died. And she wanted to have a funeral for it. And some people have funerals for animals. I mean, funeral. They get a casket and all that stuff. So what the lady did in the kids, she didn't go to church, so she just started looking through the phone book, and she started calling people like, do you do funerals for dogs? And everybody was going, what? They thought she was kidding. Like, what's this? Am I being punked? Is this MTV? They looking for cameras? You know, Alan Font? Is this, you know, can the camera? Like, no, I'm serious. No, we don't do funerals for dogs. It's a click. So she went through the whole phone book. She called everybody. She get to this last church. Guy picks up the phone. I mean, she was just going through the telephone book. Picks up the phone. Do you do funerals for dogs? No, ma'am. I'm sorry. We only do funerals for. In fact, we only do them for members. We don't do them for people. But we definitely don't do funerals for dogs. She said, oh man, that's too bad. She said, that's too bad. He said, I wish I could help you. She said, that's too bad. Said somebody, the owner left this dog a $2 million inheritance. That man said, ma'am? He said, why didn't you tell me that dog was Baptist? Down there, you let somebody call here and tell me about that dog got a $2 million inheritance. Yeah. Bring him right on up in here. Yeah. Yeah, because think about it. Now, we'll say we won't do funeral for dogs, but you know how many dogs we done funeralized? Okay. Now y'all wonder if I'm talking about your uncle. No, I ain't talking about none of y'all. I'm just talking about people that y'all, funerals y'all have been to with people with dogs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, the position. What the father was saying is, your sin didn't cancel out my son. And thank God for that, because we done all came short. And getting back with Florence, what you said, listen. When a person is trying to highlight your sin, that's a good indication that they don't know how much they've been forgiven. Because you would be so busy thanking God for forgiving you for what you done, you wouldn't have time to be looking at him. He'd be like, whoa, he got me out of, whoa. And y'all ain't got to go back in the recesses of your mind. There's some folk in here, he delivered you something from within the last 24 hours. Don't act like I'm talking about when you was 12. I'm talking about recent stuff. You're like, whoa, you got me out of that. Thank you, Jesus. So I don't have time to figure out what she did. I don't care about what she's doing. I'm so happy thanking him for forgiving me. I don't see what you did. So I know that we ain't looking in the mirror right, because we see other people. When you look in the mirror, you're supposed to see you. And you hear people, you hear them, man, you be like, after church, whoa, so-and-so should have been here today. You was here? That was for you then. See, we ain't looking at me. We looking at somebody else. No, your sins, or whoever sins, it doesn't cancel out the fact that they're God's children. And I'm so glad, Andrew, I said earlier, I'm so glad, and everybody need to get this in their mind, God blesses people that you don't like. Because somebody don't like you, so if God didn't bless people nobody like, we wouldn't be blessed. We think God like us. God, I don't like him, you either, huh? God ain't like that. The youngest son was nuts. He was mad that his son, it's the next one. Watch this, watch this. Look at the father rejoicing, 23 and 24. Watch this. And it's a good picture of church folk. Not Christian, church folk. There's a difference between Christian and church folk. Okay? Like there's a difference between, you know, and You know what I mean? There's a difference between, everybody ain't the same just because, you know what I mean? See, you can go to a movie and watch the movie with black folk. But with the other folk, you can't watch it because everybody talking. They putting the chicken in the bag creasy. They brought in pop, kids crying. They brought the baby in under the thing. You can't watch the movie. You're like, oh, my goodness. Watch this. He said, bring forth the fatted calf and kill it and let us eat it and be merry. Watch this. He said, for this my son was dead. He's alive. He was lost and he's found. The father was rejoicing. And the other brother mad that the son came back home. It's some folk in church, they won't admit it. If somebody came off the street and got off crack, they'd be mad wondering, he ain't gonna last, he just playing, they just want their rent paid. A whole lot of, nobody would be happy. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody. But some folk would be like, what they coming in here for? They ain't happy that they got off the street. They ain't happy that she stopped prostituting. Instead of being happy for somebody being saved, getting their life turned around, what they want? They just coming in here to get a man. They just coming in here to get a woman. Nobody happy that God didn't turn them around. You ought to be happy of anybody that gets saved, because now you ain't in the neighborhood peddling drugs. That's one less poison gonna get in somebody's arm if God turned you around. There was rejoicing. Everybody ain't happy because you happy. The fatted calf was for special occasion. That was the good meat. Andrew, that was the good meat. Like, get the good meat. Get the fatted calf. No, don't get no skinny one. Get a fatted one. Because surely we about to eat some meat. Yeah, that London broil I was talking about earlier. That stuff you got to marinate for 21 days before you eat it. Anything that sit that long got to be good. It's good, though, London broil. It's expensive, but it's good. Come from the back, that hind. It's good. Put some little au jus sauce on the Geraldine. You eat it and go to sleep. I'm telling you the truth. Yep. Instead of a wasted life because of the Father's love, there was a celebration of a life redeemed and restored. This is all about the Father's love, not about the Son's. It's all about the Father's love. Okay? Watch this. This verse. Watch this. This is McKinley. Watch this. 1 John verse 3. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons and daughters of God. Did you see that? Yeah. God calls us sons and daughters. It's some folk that we don't claim in our families. People like, you kidding the so-and-so? You be like, what'd he do? You don't say, yeah, like, what'd he do? And he didn't do nothing wrong. Okay, yeah, that's my nephew. yeah, what'd he do? Yeah, God calls us and is happy to call us sons and daughters. All the mess we done, and he calls us sons and daughters. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed on that we. He don't call us a servant and a slave. He don't say y'all going barefoot. He said, get him some shoes. Put a ring on his hand. Put a robe on him. Cover him up. It's all about the Father's love. Since we've been shown and we've seen the Father's love, now it's incumbent upon us to share it. If you hear about somebody downtrodden, don't go Facebook, don't go get on their phone, man, this so-and-so, I just saw them, man, they cracked out. Don't do that. That ain't what the Father did to us. Help them, or pray, or do something, but don't spread it. We need to show that same love that the Father showed that Son. We need to show that and share that with one another. And when people do come back from the far country, kiss them on the neck. Well, I shouldn't say that because some men gonna be too far. Pastor said it. Y'all know what I mean. Be welcoming people, be 10 minutes. Now let her go. You kiss. Well, the Bible study, you said it was a continual kiss. Boy, you better let that woman go. and I ain't got to tell you because the women gonna tell you. Yeah. They gonna tell you. Yeah. All right, let's get in groups of 2 and let's pray.